Gentlemen, welcome to Toll Cross and day 2 of the British Para-Swimming International Meet 2016. It's early on a Sunday, but I have one question for you all. Are you ready to see some fast swimming? Hey, that's a pretty good response. The reason I've asked you that question is because I'm using it as a good luck charm. I asked the audience the same thing yesterday, and boy, oh boy, did we see some fast swimming in this pool. Now, I was alongside the man I'm alongside now, and he witnessed it with me. It gives me great pleasure to introduce, and I hope you will give a very warm welcome to 5-time Paralympian Paul Noble. Paul, once again, a brilliant welcome. Fast swimming we saw the first day. Incredible scenes yesterday.
It was very, very good indeed yesterday. More than we could have hoped for. We saw a couple of world records, 3 world records in all. It was absolutely fantastic. We had 2 breaststroke world records for the SB14 class and 1 for the SB13 class. So the world's very, very best here in Glasgow this weekend. And of course, the main aim of this competition, these championships, is to get those real qualification places. It is the only opportunity for the GB swimmers to post these qualification times, and 11 swimmers so far have managed to get inside those standards. Doesn't guarantee selection, but it's the first step, and it's a step that all of these swimmers will be trying to climb on today.
Well, we'll talk to you a little bit more, ladies and gentlemen, about those qualification standards a little bit later. But it seems as though every swim counts here, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. You really need to go pretty fast in the morning. Again, you can achieve those qualification standards in the morning, so a lot of the GB swimmers have gone out pretty fast and trying to give themselves another chance to achieve those standards. And, of course, you can progress to the finals. So you can, if you get in the top 30 places, you can get to the finals. So some of these young swimmers really going for it this morning, hoping to get another swim tonight in the final.
I certainly will. Thank you very much, Paul. We'll have another chat in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to get involved today. You'll hear plenty from Paul and I, but we would like to hear from you on Twitter. The official hashtag is BPSIM16. Join the conversation.
Well, welcome everyone to Toll Cross. I'm Alicia Drunicki. I'm here poolside. The swimmers are warmed up, and it feels a lot like the calm before the storm. We had a fantastic day yesterday, and 11 swimmers made qualification standard, 3 world records, 2 of which were British swimmers. So can everyone just give them a round of applause? Absolutely fantastic. Now, we spoke a lot to the swimmers yesterday, but I really want to speak to the coach. So, Andy Sharp, Northampton coach, hello, how are you feeling? You're looking a little tense.
No, I'm more excited than being tense.
So, tell me a bit, we want to know about the training process. How intense is it?
It is very intense. As a club, we like to work for long-term athlete development. So we're putting in place good skills, good aerobic base, lots of kick, working on starts, turns, finishes.
And how many swimmers have you got here today?
We've got 4 swimmers here this week.
Well, how hard do they work? Because I see them, you know, it's relentless. Tell me a bit about that process.
Yeah, well, our para swimmers are swimming with our able-bodied groups. And they fit in with the able-bodied swimmers, and they do 6 sessions a week, mornings, evenings, weekends.
So I've seen dancing, I've seen lucky pants. What do you do to get them pumped before the race?
We just talk about all the skills we've practiced, and then just get in there and enjoy it and have fun.
Well, good luck. We're really excited. Back to you, Dave and Paul.
Very much, Alicia, and thank you, Andy Sharp. That delay's a tough one, isn't it? Anyway, Paul, we can see there these athletes going through all these preparations. It's important for everyone to know that it's the best of the best that go to Rio. That is the pinnacle of this sport. And the qualification standards are very high. We're going to be sending the best athletes from Great Britain to represent the country in Rio.
Yeah, the qualification standards, very, very tough indeed, as you said, Dave. They're based on third place in the world rankings, so anybody that makes those qualification standards from GB, you can be sure they are a medal contender when they get there. We saw the two guys yesterday in the 100 breaststroke for the SB14s. They are going to be ranked 1 and 2 in the world at the moment, and going into Rio as big, big favourites for gold and silver medalists at the moment. And a number of the guys here who will swim today, we'll see them in the 100 backstroke and the 50 backstrokes. If they make those qualification standards, they'll be right at the top of the tree when they get to Rio.
What we have learned, though, is when the pressure is on, and the pressure is high, as you said, 1 and 2 in the world, these athletes have responded to that pressure in kind, exactly what we want to see.
Absolutely, it's all good practice for the big events here. They've got to go fast in the heats this morning. They've got to go even faster in the finals. When they get to Rio, there'll be no second chances. You've got to do it on the day, and this is what these trials are all about. These swimmers got to do it on the day, and we hope more are going to do it this afternoon and also tonight.
Well, it's all about the backstroke today. Yesterday we had freestyle and we had breaststroke. We can just see up on the big screen now. That's the call room. Final athlete preparations. I mean, you've been there. What were the emotions that you were going through in that call room just before the race started?
Well, everybody's got their different routines. They'll all be well practiced. They're all quite experienced swimmers here at the British Championships, so they'll have their own kind of things that they go through. Some of them are talkers, some of them will keep quiet, some of them will be listening to music. It's all about the individual. Everyone will have their own things that they like to do.
Thank you very much, Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just moments away from getting these athletes out in the water. Remember, we want to hear from you. Get on Twitter. The hashtag is BPSIM16. Tell us who you're supporting and let us know how you're enjoying this British Paraswimming International Meet 2016. But now, please welcome the officials to poolside. Are we? Last touch. It's not necessarily the fastest touch that records the highest score, so every swim counts. Okay, we're about 20 seconds away, ladies and gentlemen. I want arms in the air, I want feet stamping, hands clapping, I want waving, I want this first athlete introduction to feel like the most special thing we've ever done here at Tollcross. Can we do that? Come on, ladies and gentlemen, I need more from you. Can we do that? That sounds good to me. Right then, brace yourselves because it is nearly time. Please welcome the first event of the day, the women's MC 100-meter backstroke. Please welcome the athletes to the pool deck. So heat number 1, the first race of day 2 here at the British Paraswimming International Meet is underway. The women's 100-meter backstroke, and in lane 0, closest to you there in the crowd, we have Charlotte Hyde from London District. Also swimming for London District in lane 1, Leah O'Connell. In lane 2 from Gloucester, Holly Brogden. Georgia Howell in lane 3 from Littlehampton. In lane 4, Madeline Harris of Elmbridge. Lane 5 from Gloucester, it's Olivia Pickering. From Broxburn in lane 6, it's Laura Pilkington. In lane 7, Sally Phillips of Gloucester. In lane 8, from Bracknell, it's Katie Moss. And in lane 9, Sophie Gray from Ealing.
Well, multi-classification, as we saw yesterday in the heats. There's a number of classifications taking the start on this one, and heading them into the turn was Madeline Harris from Elmbridge, 51.10 for the S9 swimmer. Remember the classifications, S1 to 10, those with a physical disability, 11 to 13, those with a visual impairment, and 14, those with a learning disability. All the swimmers will be competing against the world record standard for their classification. And that world record is equivalent to roughly 1,000 points. So we'll see what kind of point scores that these swimmers get here. And coming in to the finish for this first heat, Madeline Harris in lane number 4. She swam well here, the Elmbridge swimmer. Again, one of these youngsters taking part at these championships. 1:44 for Madeline Harris, and that is following an entry time of 1:52, so a very good start this morning. Dave, 8-second personal best there, or improvement on the entry time for Madeline Harris. So a nice way to start the morning. Olivia Pickering follows her home in 2nd position, and in 3rd place, also under the 2-minute mark, Georgia Howell from Littlehampton. But in terms of the points, Dave, again, different classifications. The closest to the world record for their class looks like Georgia Howell, 392 points.
Yep, 392 points is the highest score. Ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for all our athletes in heat number 1. Still waiting for the official results and the classification. There are 7 heats in this women's 100-meter backstroke. The top 30, the 30 highest point scores, will go through to the final later on today.
See some of the swimmers there using these backstroke starting platforms. A relatively new innovation, I suppose, only been around for a couple of years. And you don't have to use them. You see the officials setting them up there as we watch on the pool deck for some of the swimmers who have chosen to use them. Of course, yeah, you come to a big championships, you don't want to try out something for the very first time. So a lot of the swimmers who don't have experience of these won't be using them this time.
There is a disqualification, and that is lane 1, Leah O'Connell. From heat number 1, lane 1, Leah O'Connell. That is a confirmed disqualification. So you were talking about the changes to the start gates there. I mean, you've been swimming a long time, you've been involved in swimming a long time, and we've actually had a little bit of a laugh about some of the changes in technology. One of the jokes you've told me is about woolen caps and all kinds. Now, I don't believe that for one second, but these guys, how important is what they're wearing in terms of the times that they can swim?
Well, it's very important. The technology has got to come off with swimming suits in recent years, and a number of the swimmers will take advantage of that.
We'll talk about that a bit later. The official results are up now. 392 points is the top score from Georgia Howell. Katie Moss, 343 in second. Laura Pilkington in third, but now it's time for heat number 2. Heat number 2 then. In the women's backstroke in lane 0, the satellite swimmer Megan Short. In lane 1, from Leicester Penguins, it's Isabel Dean. From Mid-Sussex in lane 2, Fabian Andre. And in lane 3, Aliyah Bakakoglu from Brighouse. In lane 4, Ella Cooper-Holmes. In lane 5, Tammy Barrett-Haynes from Gravesend. And in lane 6, from Bletchley, it's Catherine Healy. In lane 7, from London District, Sarah Pashow. In lane 9, another satellite swimmer, it is Samantha Lewis. And from Ardwick, in lane 9, Holly Pinder.
Well, see who's first to the wall here. Mentioned Holly Pinder. I met Holly Pinder yesterday for lunch. Well, at lunch. And she said she was doing very well. Personal best times for Holly Pinder. We'll see how she gets on in the outside lane.
Do you regularly go for lunch with swimmers before the competition then?
No comment.
Okay, sounds like favouritism. What did you have?
Oh, I can't remember now. I've had so many lunches since I've had you.
It was that good, you couldn't even remember.
Absolutely.
Anyway, heat 2, we are over 75 metres of the 100 covered. Chasing down that current lead score of 343 set in the first heat. Remember, the top 30 go through to the 3 finals this evening. And the first swimmers just touching back. 286 points, 140 from Bakakoglu. Cooper-Holmes, 528 points. And an excellent swim of 140.94 from Ella Cooper-Holmes there in lane 4.
It was 528 points from Cooper-Holmes. Our mum will be happy that we've remembered to call her Ella. She's down as Grace Cooper-Holmes, but everyone knows her as Ella, apparently. But good swim, nevertheless, from Cooper-Holmes, let's call her. 528 points, and that's good. 500-point mark. That's getting up towards challenging for a place in the final. We saw some swimmers make the final with 494 points yesterday. So 528 has got to have a good chance for making that top 30.
Heat 3. Heat number 3. The top scorer, remember, 528 points from Ella Cooper-Holmes. But now the lineup for this heat. Swimming in lane 0 from Gloucester, Levana Hansen. In lane number 1 from Northampton, Maisie Summers-Newton. In lane 2, Annalise Burgess from Plymouth. And in lane 3 from Rennes, 96, April McKee. Lane 4, the German swimmer Neil Labuda. In lane 5 from Swansea, Alicia Rodway. Swimmer from Gainsborough in lane 6, Rebecca Franks, and Olivia May Cameron swims in lane 7. Lane 8, Shrewsbury's Portia Jones, and in lane 9, from Austria, Janina Falk.
Well, we have talked about a lot of the GB swimmers, but we have got international visitors as well here at these championships. Neil Labuda in the centre lane, challenging for the lead there. Alicia Rodway from Swansea Stingrays. Going to say an international visitor from Swansea. You were happy with the Welsh yesterday?
Very happy indeed. I'll say Diawn, because they swam fantastically well, particularly not 1 but 2 world records in the same day. But right now it is all about the backstroke, heat number 3. As the first swimmers are about to touch back, let's have a look at these times then. 1:28.18 from Labuda, that's 444 points. Followed in by 1:29.47, Janina Falk, the Austrian, for 378 points. But Maisie Summers-Newton, 1:36.60 for 674 points. What a swim out of lane 1.
Yeah, well, there you see.
Confirmation of the results there. Maisie Summers-Newton, 674 points, wins the heat. Labuda in second, 444, and Olivia May Cameron in third place there with 431 classification points.
Well, that's multi-class swimming all over there. Maisie Summers-Newton, not first to the wall, but she is the lower numerical classification. And the points, 674 points. You see her top of the tree in terms of points, how close she was to the world record. Move on now to the next heat, which is heat number 4.
Swimming out of lane 0 in heat 4. Rebecca Lewis from the RCT squad. True Stables is in lane 1 from Copeland. In lane 2, Adele Maguire from Warrington. And Motherwell's Amy McFarlane is in lane 3. In lane 4 from Wickham District is Katie Crowhurst. Molly Hopkins swims in lane 5 from Neath. In lane 6, Grace Harvey from Hoddesdon. And Julio Castello Farah, the Spanish swimmer, is in lane 7. In lane 8, Charlie Vines from Harrogate. And in lane 9, Rachel Tweedy from Marple.
Well, again, a lower classification swimmer, Julia Castello Farah, Paralympian from Spain, may feature in the shake-up for the points when they get to the final result. At the front of the field, though, Katie Crowhurst. She's had a little bit of support through Twitter over the last couple of days. So Katie Crowhurst going well from Wickham District. And she is an S13 swimmer with a visual impairment. She's going in lane 4, being challenged at the moment by Molly Hopkins of Neath. Very, very close between these two. Molly Hopkins, an S9 swimmer, finishing very strongly. What a finish between these two. Hopkins and Crowhurst is very close indeed. And it was Molly Hopkins who takes that one in 1:26.92, and that was decisive in the battle with Katie Crowhurst there. 459 points for the Wickham swimmer in second, but the highest points total there is going to, well, as we thought, the Spanish Paralympian, Julia Castello Farah, 742 points. We're getting up to a good standard now, Dave, into the 700 range.
Certainly are. 681 for Grace Harvey as well. Those are the two highest scores of the competition so far. 742 for Costello Farah and 681 for Grace Harvey in lane 6 and 7, respectively. That is the fourth heat down of 7. Remember, keep your tweets coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag BPSIM16. They're coming in thick and fast as we just receive the official results up on the board right now. Confirmation that Costello Farah, 742 points. Harvey, 681. Maguire, 5-3. And now it's time for Heat 5. Heat number 5 then, in lane 0 from Glossop, Eleanor Bamba. In lane 1, Danielle Hartin from Basildon. In lane 2, from Woking, Zara Maluli. In lane 3, from North Ayrshire, it's Abby Kane. And in lane 4, from Woking, Hannah Russell. From UEA Norwich, in lane 5, it's Katie Nesbitt. And from Skipton, in lane 6, Abby Hampshire. The Spanish swimmer in lane 7 is Michelle Alonso Morales. And in lane 8 from France, it's Tessa Marcos. And finally, in lane 9 from Incas, Cara Smythe.
Well, we're going to see a big jump in the points now, Dave. We have Hannah Russell, the world record holder in the S12 class here. And also, in with a shout of making that qualification standard is Abby Kane from North Ayrshire, the youngster from almost local here in Tollcross in Glasgow. But Hannah Russell coming in now to the finish. She touches in 107 inside the qualification standard. Let's watch for Abby Kane. And she is also inside the qualification standard. A 1:11.92 for Abby Kane of North Ayrshire. And the youngster who has just pulled through has come through there for a qualification standard. Hannah Russell, of course, already made the standard yesterday, and that was a fantastic swim there from Hannah Russell, there with the blue cap, Hannah Russell, next to young Abby Kane, who was only born in 2003, Dave. Abby Kane, the youngest qualifier so far.
Well, what about that? 939 points and 819 points. But most importantly, as you said, Paul, 2 swimmers inside those qualification standards. We asked the audience if they were ready to see some fast swimming, and we have seen it. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. 2 swimmers inside the qualification standard, Abby Kane and Hannah Russell. Heat number 6.
Heat 6 is underway, but just in the excitement of that last heat there, just forgot to mention Abby Kane's was a British record for the youngster from Scotland, so well done, Abby. Worthy of a mention, I think.
Certainly was. But swimming in Heat 6, out of lane 0, from City of Cardiff, Bethan Eckley. In lane 1 from Shrewsbury, Fionn Butler. Louise Fidesz of Hatfield in lane 2. In lane 3 from Romford Town, Amy Marin in lane 4, Jessica Jane Applegate of UEA Norwich. Alice Tai is in lane 5 from Bournemouth College. And from Germany, Henrietta Scheutner in lane 6. In lane 7, Stephanie Slater from Preston. Lane 8, Rebecca Redfern of Worcester. And Catherine Auberhauser of Italy is in lane 9.
A number of GB internationalists here looking to dip inside those qualification standards. Amy Marin in 3, Jessica Jane Applegate, the world champion, won the title here last year in Glasgow at the World Champs. Alice Tai in lane 5, Stephanie Slater in 7. In comes Applegate and Alice Tai, and it's 108.79 for Jessica Jane Applegate, just short of that qualification standard, and Alice Tai also outside, just half a second outside there. Two good head-to-heads there at the centre of the pool there, 108.79 and 109.47, and just looking down here, 120.48 for Stephanie Slater, and she is just 0.3 of a second outside that qualification standard. But those points, Dave, should be enough to qualify them for the final tonight, and they will have another crack at those times.
And they are tantalisingly close as well, aren't they? Tiny, tiny, small margins, but they've certainly given themselves a brilliant chance this evening. Confirmation of the results: Alice Tai, 852 points, Jessica Jane Applegate, 832, and Stephanie Slater in third with 789 points. The seventh and final heat of this women's MC 100-metre backstroke then is underway. And swimming out of lane 0 from Clevedon, Harriet Dickinson. From City of Aberdeen in lane 1, it's Tony Shaw. Emma Cattle of Team Luton is in lane 2. And in lane 3 from Caution, Stephanie Millward. In lane 4 from Newcastle, Bethany Firth. From Swansea Aquatics in lane 5, it's Chloe Davis. From Orion in lane 6, Megan Richter, and Beth Johnston from BEST swims out of lane 7. Coral Farrell of Warrington is in lane 8, and from Staines in lane 9, Maya Briscoe.
Well, Bethany Firth is the world record holder in lane number 4. She's been pressed all the way though by Chloe Davis. The two S14 swimmers here coming back now, very, very close here. The world record holder chased by Chloe Davis from the same stable as Aaron Moores yesterday. Chloe Davis, she's given this a good go here. Bethany Firth is in 106.82, and that's inside the qualification standard. Chloe Davis is just outside there, 108.05. She's within a second of that standard as well, but just outside. And Stephanie Millward follows them home in third position, 113.42. It's a couple of seconds outside the standard required for Stephanie Millward's classification, but a good tussle there at the front of the field. The two S14 swimmers, Bethany Firth and Chloe Davis. They had a good battle there. And 107.08 was the qualification standard. Bethany Firth dipping under that, 106.82. And Chloe Davis, again, very close, just within a second of that qualification time.
Confirmation then, Bethany Firth inside the classification time. She is the third swimmer this morning. The results were up on the big screen there. Bethany Firth with 908 points. Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation. The third swimmer this morning to reach that classification time. Ladies and gentlemen, the second event of the day is the men's MC 100-meter backstroke. Please welcome the athletes to the pool deck. Five swimmers then in heat number 1 of the men's 100-meter backstroke. Starting in lane 2, it's Alexander Hobbs. In lane 3, William Holland-Levens from City of Salford. And from Rotherham in lane 4, William Whitehead. Marcin Potoczny from Poland swims in lane 5. And in lane 6, from Bournemouth College, Leo McCrea.
Yeah, swimmers just getting themselves set at the start there. It's always very important there, especially with the guys with maybe lower limb disabilities or multiple disabilities, upper and lower limbs. Those backstroke ledges, they do give a little bit of more security really, especially if you're only starting from one leg. Because sometimes your legs do slip on these walls there. So at the start, it gives a little bit more of a security for these swimmers with disabilities in the lower limbs. Of course, you do have to be able to hang on to the blocks with your arms as well. Some of the swimmers have got these devices that they hang on to, towels or little straps there that they hang on to the starting platform at the backstroke events. But it's all within the rules, Dave. All have to be approved beforehand. And we've got a good contest brewing up here. William Holland-Levens and William Whitehead, the two Williams.
Certainly did. Whitehead was first at the turn in 50.88, but Holland-Levens behind him, 52.50, has certainly made up plenty of space in this second 50 as we approach the final 5 meters. Whitehead in 4, Holland-Levens in 3. Who will be the first to touch? It's just Whitehead at the moment. It's going to be a close one.
It was very close. 5 100s between the two of them. And the touch did go to Whitehead. Blimey, that was a cracking finish there from Whitehead. Cracking finish from Holland-Levens as well. Almost took that one at the death. And they were followed in by Leo McCrea and Alexander Hobbs. And Potoczny from Poland, the final swimmer to complete the distance.
So that is the first heat underway. Sorry, the first heat finished, should I say. Holland-Levens there, confirmation that he is the top swimmer from heat number 1, 331 points. McCrea, 271 in second. William Whitehead from Rotherham, 217 points in third. Heat number 2 then in this men's 100-meter backstroke, and swimming in lane 0 from Pioneer 79 is Ethan Naisbitt. In lane 1, Alexander Taylor from Harrogate. And from the Northeast Disability Swimming Club in lane 2, it's Nate Allen Dover. In lane 3, Adam Scott from Highland. From Isle of Man in lane 4, Benjamin Granger. And in lane 5, Matthew Clowns from Caradon. From Portsmouth in lane 6, it's Joshua Fruin, and Leo Johnson swims in lane 7 from Chelsea and West Kensington. Finley Middleton from Mount Kelly is in lane 8, and in lane 9 from Bracknell, Owen Say.
Well, lane number 1 is Alexander Taylor. Position number 1 is Benjamin Granger from the Isle of Man in that centre lane, lane number 4. And Nate Allen Dover going well, as he did yesterday. We're beginning to recognise some names now at the head of the field here. We saw some good swims yesterday. And generally, the people making the biggest kind of improvements in these early heats are the ones that kind of rise to the front of the field. Benjamin Granger from the Isle of Man coming in here. And a good swim from Granger, 124.03. Well, a 10-second improvement, just the 10 seconds this morning.
Well, these swimmers, we saw it yesterday, we've seen it already this morning, knocking chunks off their personal bests. This competition really seems to be bringing the best out of them.
Yeah, fantastic there. Matthew Close coming in from Caradon, 130 for Matthew, and that's a 4-second improvement for him. And Finley Middleton at 131 from Mount Kelly. Used to be Kelly College, now Mount Kelly, after they combined with another school in the local area. Produced a lot of Paralympians in the past there. Kelly College, maybe this is the next generation coming through. Finley Middleton with a good swim there.
Confirmation of the results from Heat 2 then. Ethan Naisbitt, 285 points in first. That is a correction, actually. Benjamin Granger with 356 is in first. We await the official results before we get underway with heat number 3. So looking ahead, we've got 8 in total. We saw the heats improve as they got on earlier. Already 3 more swimmers have joined the ranks of swimmers who've reached the qualification time. Great standard already this morning, Paul.
Yeah, it's been a good start this morning. We should see some more chances for qualification standards to be achieved. And hopefully we'll be able to get people just under the qualification standards. Just waiting for the result. We have it now. And it is Adam Scott confirmed in first position, Granger in second, Matthew Close in third position. Ready to move on to the next heat. We did have a disqualification in that previous heat. That was lane number 2. We can now move on to the next heat, which is heat number 3.
The swimmers in heat number 3 then of the men's 100-meter backstroke. In lane 0 from Gosport, Dominic Redpath. In lane 1 from Germany, Fabian Brunner. In lane 2, Luke Batty of Bolton Metro. From Germany in lane 3, it's Simon Pradanovic. Joshua Fairchild swims in lane 4 from City of Coventry. From Hamilton in lane 5, it's Lewis Beagrie. Adam Donaghy in lane 6 from Blantyre, and from Shrewsbury in lane 7, Riley Shanahan. From Orion in lane 8, Scott Hadley, and in lane 9, again from Orion, James Brown.
Well, out in the centre lane, Joshua Fairchild going well. S14 swimmer, City of Coventry, followed by Lewis Beagrie. Scottish swimmers doing well this morning. We saw Adam Scott in that previous heat from the Highlands take the highest points total. What can Lewis Beagrie do from just down the road in Hamilton? He's chasing Joshua Fairchild at the moment, City of Coventry. We'll keep an eye on the points totals as these guys come into the wall. Joshua Fairchild, 125 was his entry time. He's improved that to 120.64. Lewis Beagry improves from 127 to 123. But Simon Pradanovic, the Germany swimmer, 508 points so far, ahead of his German teammate, 482 for Fabian Brunner from Germany. So the two S7 swimmers from the German team coming in the top points totals. Speaking to the German team yesterday, they of course go into the European Championships next week. Swimmers here not taking part in those championships, a junior squad here in Towcross.
And there's confirmation of the results. Pradanovic, the first swimmer over 500 points in this men's competition. Brunner in second with 482, and Fairchild third with 397 points. Heat 4. Heat number 4 of the men's MC 100-meter backstroke, swimming in lane 0 from Littlehampton. It's Caleb Grace. In lane 1, Henry Fletcher from Gloucester. In lane 2 from Staines, it's Matthew Rishworth. And from City of Newport in lane 3, Ellis Underwood. City of Salford swimmer in lane 4, it's Jack Sheffield. And Christian Buchanan from East Lothian swims in lane 5. From City of Sunderland in lane 6, it's Gareth Orr. In lane 7 from Woking, Connor Lockwood. In lane 8 from Inverclyde, Isaac Dunning. And in lane 9, Oluduasi Adefisan from Croydon.
Yeah, a lot of tweets coming in of good luck wishes for Jack Sheffield, City of Salford, and he's lying third place there as they went over the turn. Ellis Underwood, another name we recognise from yesterday from Newport. He goes ahead of the rest here, 37.36 at the turn. And he's pulling through Matthew Risworth from Staines as well into second position. Looks like the action there in 2, 3 and 4. Underwood is going to take this one though in 407 points, 116.57. And it's very close for second position. Jack Sheffield it is who gets it ahead of Risworth, ahead of Connor Lockwood from Woking there. But 407 points is the top point scorer there with 402 points. Two swimmers tied for second position there. Well, are we going to get a swim off here? Top 30. Of course, if they tie for 30th place, we might have a swim off. That'll be exciting, wouldn't it, Dave?
Certainly would. 407 points is the first place, though. Ellis Underwood, Matthew Rishworth with 402, tied with Adefisan on 402 points, joint second. Heat number 5 in the 100-meter backstroke. In lane 0 from Taunton Dean, Jack Baker. Joshua Monaghan-Coombs swims in lane 1 from Saxon Crown. Adam Karras from Germany is in lane 2, and in lane 3 from Derwentsside, Matthew Gibson. In lane 4 from Shrewsbury, Tom Piggott. And from Italy in lane 5, Kevin Casali. In lane 6 from Watford, it's Louis Hines, and in lane 7 from France, Mathis Daniel. In lane 8, should I say, from Cockermouth, Jacob Leach. And in lane 9, from Burnley Bobcats, Thomas Brown.
Yeah, Lewis Hines there, first to the wall there from Watford, 36.18. Kevin Casale for the Italian swimmer. He is going in lane number 5 there, doing pretty well at the moment. It's all pretty close here. It's very, very close indeed between 5 swimmers here coming into the final stages, coming under the flags now. Swimmers absolutely together here. 4 swimmers all going to come in. It's all about the touch here. Who's it going to go to? Well, very, very tight indeed. Kevin Casale, 1:14.95. He gets the touch. Tom Piggott in second, and Lewis Hines in 3rd position. Well, it's very, very close in terms of points as well. And we're just confirming the result, but 558 points so far is the top points earner. In fact, 2 swimmers there tied, Adam Karras and Jacob Leach. We're definitely going to get a swim off, Dave.
You really want one, don't you? The results up there now, 558 points, Karras and Leach. And then in 3rd place, Jack Baker with 522. A brilliant heat there in the pool. The closest race we've had so far this weekend. And a confirmation of the disqualification from lane 7, Francis Matisse Daniel. The next heat is heat 6. Heat number 6 then, in Paul's eternal quest for a swim-off here at the British Para Swimming International Meet. In lane 0 from Swim Trafford, Craig McNeil. In lane 1 from Hastings, Callum Pearson. Wah Kit Choi from Hong Kong swims in lane 2. And Sun Sang Lee of Hong Kong swims in lane 3. Swansea Aquatics, Aaron Moores in lane 4. And Jack Thomas, again from Swansea Aquatics, is in lane 5. Oliver Hine from Nova Centurion in lane 6, and from Rotherham in lane 7 is Joseph Siege. Benjamin Fulston from Nova Centurion swims in lane 8, and in lane 9 from Caradon, Cameron Vernco.
Well, what can Aaron Moores do today? We saw him set that world record in the breaststroke yesterday. Qualification standard, it's a very, very tough standard, 1:72 for these guys, 100 backstroke swimmers, but they're all coming in together, and it looks like it is maybe Sansung Lee coming in, lane number 3, the Hong Kong swimmer, who's going to take that one in 1:06.64. He does take it ahead of Oliver Hind, and Oliver Hind just outside the qualification standard he was looking for, with Aaron Moores in 3rd position and Jack Thomas in 4th position, but very close at the front there. Again, very, very close finish there. Oliver Hind just touching the ball in 1st place, actually, in 1:06 by 1/100th of a second. And he does have the highest points totals, 858 points.
That is a big score from Ollie Hind, 858. That is the highest we've seen in this competition so far for the Nova Centurion swimmer.
And again, it's close margins, isn't it? The qualification standard for Ollie Hind, 1:06.27. So he's just 0.3 of a second outside that mark.
But with a score like that, he is going to have another chance to beat that qualification standard later on today in the final. And that will certainly be at the forefront of his mind going into this evening's racing.
Absolutely. Some very, very close swims there. Ollie Hind, of course, a couple of big events to go later in the week. And the result is confirmed. We do have a disqualification. The swimmer in lane number 2 was disqualified, but the Points totals confirmed as Oliver Hind first position, Song Sang Lee in second, and Aaron Moores in third. We can move on now to the next heat, which is heat number 7.
Swimming in heat number 7 in lane 0 from Helensburgh, it's John Law. From Portsmouth in lane 1, Michael Goody. There's no swimmer in lane 2. And in lane 3 from Hong Kong, Ka Chun Hui. In lane 4 from East Lothian, Stephen Clegg. From City of Sheffield in lane 5, it's James Crisp. Connor Green from Carmarthen is in lane 6. And from Worcester in lane 7, Matthew Redfern. From City of Manchester in lane 8, it's Jonathan Fox. And in lane 9, Liam Spence from Kingston upon Hull.
Well, real top quality field here. Jonathan Fox, the world record holder in the S7 class, trying to qualify for another Paralympic Games, as is the man James Crisp in lane number 5. 14 times James Crisp has been on the medal podium in major international championships. But let's have a look here for Stephen Clegg. The standard Stephen Clegg's looking for is 101.67. He's just slipped by for Stephen Clegg. 102.49 for Stephen Clegg. It is a good swim. It's a personal best. James Crisp, though, the experienced man, 105.09, is inside his standard there. And another good swim from James Crisp. And let's have a look at Jonathan Fox as well. 110.48 for Jonathan Fox. He is well inside that qualification time too. So great swim there from Jonathan Fox and James Crisp. And Stephen Clegg just outside that qualification time, but the consolation for Stephen Clegg, a new British record time.
Well, it's all happening here, and the results are confirmed on the board. Jonathan Fox, 960 points in first place. Stephen Clegg, 857 in third, and James Crisp, 854 in third, shall I say. Stephen Clegg in second. But ladies and gentlemen, 2 swimmers inside the qualification time and a new British record. Heat 8. The 8th and final heat then of the men's 100-metre backstroke. No swimmer in lane 0. So in lane 1 from Beaukirk Lees, Jonathan Booth. In lane 2 from Australia, Liam Schluter. In lane 3 from Hong Kong, Wai Lok Tang. Another Australian swimmer in lane 4, Sean Russo. From Basildon in lane 5, it's Ryan Nichols, and Craig Harris swims in lane 6 from Swindon Dolphins. In lane 7 from City of Derby, Lewis White. In lane 8 from Cockermouth, Luke Reason, and Sol Bressett swims in lane 9 from Jersey.
Well, Sean Russo, the World Championship bronze medalist right here in Towcross last year. The Australian swimmer, be the favourite for this one, the S13 swimmer with a visual impairment. Ryan Nichols also going well. Wai Lok Tang from Hong Kong in second position here, but Sean Russo looks like he could take this one. Could be a comfortable win though. 103.21 for Sean Russo, and 723 points. Not the top points earner, because 2 of the S14 swimmers are inside, are better than that mark set by Sean Russo. We'll touch the ball first. So we'll just... Absolutely. These guys taking one length of the pool. We have got opportunity as well for some qualification, some records to look out for as well. So the last two events that we'll see this morning, still a lot to watch out for.
Results from the final heat on the board then. Ryan Nichols, 7:52. Lewis White, 7:25. Sean Russo, 7:23. And a disqualification for Wai Lok Tang. Let's talk about what has just happened here. We've got the results up on the board, counting down from first until the final position, but two athletes inside the qualification standard. That's the big news here.
It is, absolutely, and it's two of the most experienced guys on the GB team. James Crisp made his international debut back in 1997 at the European Championships. Even I was on the team at that point, Dave. That's how old James Crisp is. Well, he's not old, but he's very experienced, shall we say.
Well, still achieving. One thing worth noting, though, we talked about the pressure on the athletes. We've had a British record, but that's not quite enough to qualify. But we'll talk about that a little bit later, ladies and gentlemen, because it is time to introduce the athletes for the next event. Please welcome the women's MC 50 meters backstroke. Here we go then, the first and only heat in the women's MC 50-meter backstroke. In lane 3 from Nova Centurion, Sophie Woodward. In lane 4 from Team Ipswich, Susan Warren. And in lane 5 from South Ayrshire, Kaylee Hago.
Well, three swimmers here, three different classifications. Sophie Woodward, Suzanne Warren and Kaylee Hago. They're in lanes 3, 4 and 5. They're an S3, an S4 and an S5. They are swimming in classification order in terms of their lanes. Suzanne Warren is the British record holder, 1 minute .27. She set that mark back in Manchester in December 2015. And Sophie Woodward in lane number 3, the S3 swimmer. Here comes Suzanne Warren now in lane number 4. Let's have a look at the clock. 1 minute .27 is the British record mark. It's going to be close, but it's just outside that one. In fact, 103.70. I thought she was a little bit closer there. Kaylee Hago in 106.50. And Sophie Woodward in 115.13. So 441 points. Suzanne Warren, the British record holder, and she is the top points earner from that heat.
Confirmation of the results then in the women's 50-meter backstroke. Susan Warren, 441 points in first place. Sophie Woodward, 300 points in second, and Kaylee Hago, 197 points in third place. In this morning session, and there is just one swimmer in the pool, so he needs all your support. Please welcome to the poolside, on your feet, clap your hands, and make some noise for the men's MC 50 meters backstroke. Off we go then, Andrew Mullen from Ren 96, swimming in lane 4. It's tough work out there on your own, but we've already seen with Lyndon Longhorn yesterday setting the British record swimming on his own. This is an important swim, Paul.
It is. He'll be trying to make that qualification standard there. 39.84. He's the British and European record holder, Andrew Mullen. So keep an eye on the clock. Of course, he is guaranteed another swim this evening. He made his qualification standard yesterday in the 100 freestyle. And here comes Andrew Mullen. It's not going to be far outside that qualification standard, 40.53. And that was 0.7 outside. And that looked pretty relaxed from Andrew Mullen. I think he's got a lot more to give tonight.
Well, as you said, he will have another chance to go for it this evening.
Well, maybe he won't have another chance there for Andrew Mullen, because they're on the scoreboard, disqualification for Andrew Mullen in that heat. So that is unfortunate for Andrew Mullen.
That's the curse of the commentator. Just as I said that he was going to have another chance, we received confirmation of the disqualification in lane 4 for Andrew Mullen. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's been another fantastic day here at Tollcross. Please can we have a round of applause for all of the swimmers who've been in the pool today. The big news is that another 5 athletes have made the qualification standard. Abby Kane, Hannah Russell, Bethany Firth in the women's, and in the men's, James Crisp and Jonathan Fox. We'll be back for the finals this evening. Hopefully you can join us in the venue. If not, make sure you watch on BritishSwimming.org. We'll be live streaming all of the races. Now please join me in thanking all of the officials that are poolside.